the sound going. You already know what time it is. The San Francisco 49ers kick off their season opener on the road in Seattle, and they get the dub. What an ugly game. What an ugly game. I mean, if you're a 49ers fan, your emotions was going through the roof. I'm sure I overreacted several times throughout this game. I mean, the offense, the defense at times, the special teams, if you just break down each area of the 49ers, it's something to talk about. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate a victory. PTC 48 in the building says a win is a win. Let's go. You know what I've been saying? I said it doesn't matter how they win this game. They just need to find a way to win. And I got to start off the show but saying that Brock Purdy remains undefeated in Seattle. He remains undefeated. I wrote an article on 49ers Web Zone, and I talked about how he can find a way to remain undefeated, and it was going to come down to him. Oh, my gosh. I said it was going to come down to Brock. I really did. I got to find my article. I said it was going to come down to Brock to where he was going to have to find a way to take what the defense is giving him and make a play. But listen, if you watch this game, and we talked about Brock Purdy, I mean, it was like it was hot and cold, night and day, Jekyll and Hyde. Which version of Brock you want? Either, you know what? At the end of the day, he found a way to get his team the victory on the road. You know how there's just certain teams, certain players own. I feel like Brock Purdy and the Seattle Seahawks, it's just one of those teams where he's going to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? He's going to figure it out. But again, look, Brock Purdy played well. I'm not going to lie. Like 49ers stat-wise, I mean, they were just all over the stat sheet. But the score didn't really reflect from the stat sheet. Brock Purdy was 26 for 35, 277 yards, 7.9 yards per average, 2 touchdowns, but the 2 interceptions, the 2 bone-headed interceptions, you know, and we're going to talk about some of the other players in this game, but Brock Purdy's got to be better out there on the football field. And when it mattered, Brock Purdy got done. Speaking of when it mattered, I'm sorry. I've been the biggest advocate for 49ers kicker Jake Moody. I see everybody in the chat saying Moody got to go. Garrett, Moody got to go. Yes. Listen, let me just say this about Jake Moody. I'm over him. There's nothing else positive I can throw in Jake Moody's corner. Now, listen, I was being the positive guys, I was trying to show the signs of positive reinforcement. I understand you got certain 2 types of people in the world, people that can take positive reinforcement, people that need positive reinforcement, and people that can deal with negative reinforcement. But you know what? It's just got to be negative at this point. Jake Moody can't figure himself out. I'm looking at Jake Moody, and I'm saying to myself, bruh, it's a 27-yard field goal where you literally get to have the ball, line the ball up where you want to kick it from. So how do you chip? And why is Jake Moody's kicks always pulling? It's like he's got an automatic pull in his leg. And this game, literally, the Niners could have been up by at least 3. I'm going to give this to Jake Moody. That second one wasn't on Jake Moody. The second attempt wasn't on Jake Moody. But he did make the third attempt. So Jake Moody 1 for 3 on today, 33%. That is not good. I'm sorry. That's not good at all. Like, you need to be at least close to 100% as possible. A lot of kickers were missing today. I don't give 2 flying cares about any other kicker missing a football other than Jake Moody. Jake Moody was trash. Let's see what we got to say about Jake Moody. Moody got to go tonight. I'm going to try to read some of these comments out here. They are coming in hot. Torvik 49er. Is that a middle finger to Jake Moody? That's what that sounds like. Listen, send him on. Listen, don't let Moody on the plane. Listen, and that's funny because we got to go to New Orleans, so Moody might as well get on a plane, go back to Detroit, go back to Michigan, bro. Like at this point, there's nothing more you can do for Jake Moody. Jake Moody is the is it's mental, and I don't have any answers how to help the mentality of a player. I don't. You can coddle them. You can be mean to them. Maybe he needs to be. Maybe we need the mean Kyle Shanahan. Maybe Kyle Shanahan needs to be I think mean, like because the nice Jake Moody, being nice to him doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And as a fan, right? Shout out to everybody that watched that game live. All the 49er faithful that watched that game live. I can't even imagine what it was like at the stadium, at Lumen Field, whenever Jake Moody came out onto the football field. I got reports that Jake Moody during the half was coming out practicing. Practicing for what? Practicing how to miss? Like, bruh, what's the point of practicing? You make them in practice. Practice in game situations is totally different. And you know what I figured out about Jake Moody? You remember his rookie year? What did they do to get him to miss field goals? They used to call timeouts to ice him. They don't even got to call timeouts to ice him anymore. Maybe Jake Moody mentally iced himself out to where he's thinking, oh, they called the timeout. I got to make this kick. I don't know. I have zero words for Jake Moody. I see the cut, Jake Moody, donkey of the day. Shout out to Hot Mike User. You be watching the Hot 97 show for sure. Niner Nation, don't even let his behind on the bus. Cora Lakers, Moody is, and I guess you want me to fill in the blank. Just leave him in Seattle. He's the weakest link. He's the weakest link. He's the weakest link. And the fact, the issue with him being the weakest link, you cannot go into an NFL game. You cannot go into an NFL game not knowing if your kicker is going to show up. I don't want to hear injuries. I don't want to hear none of that. If he's still injured, sit down. I don't want to hear it. Because when you look at the San Francisco 49ers, and we talk about a little bit more about their offense and react to what we saw, because the offense was asinine. Like, it was terrible. Minus the splash plays. I'm going to talk about the splash plays. There was some good today. But minus those splash plays, the offense struggled. I don't care what anybody says. We struggled to run the ball early. It looked like we were just Christian McCaffrey just getting 1 yard, 3 yards. He only averaged three something yards per carry, probably like 3.2 yards per carry. Christian McCaffrey on the ground averaged 3.1 yards per carry. They brought in Brian Robinson. He averaged 3.7 yards per carry. Clearly, the Niners were trying to get to the outside zone, but I like, why not use Garindo on the crack tosses? Clearly, he has the speed. I don't know. I'm not the coach. As far as Jake Booty, I see Hurricane. You guys are funny. Listen, you have no idea. And I tweeted something about this. I'm gonna. You know what? Can I share my own tweet on my own show? Can I do that? Because I tried to make sure that it was about Moody. But it has me scratching my head. So I said, sorry. I said that I feel like I was going to try to remain positive. This is what I said in my tweet. I was going to try to remain positive. But the way my positivity is set up with this team, I just can't. Someone tell me why Jake Moody is getting more chances than Trey Lance. Now, this is not about Trey Lance. I'm looking at I'm thinking of the opportunities. So think of the word opportunities. I watched this team let go of a first-round pick because, and I stated why, and I agree with it, because their 7th-round pick was better. I'm not knocking that. I'm okay with it. But as far as opportunities, I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, cool. Cool beans. I know the kicker they brought into camp doesn't have confidence issues. Why he's been in the league. Greg Joseph has been in the league for a while. Whatever. So the confidence issues aren't there for him. And statistically, in this camp, he was the better guy. Now, he might have cost the Niners a few extra $1,000, probably. I don't know. Jake Moody, third round pick, not being paid a lot. But he's not really hitting. He's not one of those top 50 players, 51 players where he's hitting the cap hard. That's what it comes down to. So this is all business. He said, and then I said he was better. So I'm expecting the exodus of Moody. Why? Because when Trey Lance, who got injured on a design play from the head coach, then in the offseason, they signed that guy we just beat on today and Sam Darnold. So then there's going to be who's going to be the competition to quarterback two. Brock Purdy miraculously recovered from the UCL. He's ready to go. Gucci, Gucci, goo gaga. But they moved on from Lance. They didn't cut him, right? So it's different. They traded him. Listen, and they got something for Trey Lance, 4th round pick. But how is it that they were ready to move on from their quarterback when they clearly had a better kicker in camp that had more kicks made in camp than the kicker that they made and put on their active 53? It's really got me scratching my head. And I would always argue against the reactions from Kyle Shanahan, but I'm sorry. I think Kyle Shanahan is super duper frustrated. Super duper frustrated. And so my thing is, you moved on from, okay, and there's a comment in here. Let me get to that. Hold on. There's a comment in here that I want to get to. It says, where'd it go? Dag nabbit. Something about Trey Lance. They admitted they missed on Trey Lance. Just admit, right? Niner Nation, I'm with you. I'm trying to get myself back to the screen. I don't want to hit the stop button. There we go. All right. And this is not about Trey Lance. I've moved on from Trey Lance, but my thing is the team moved on from Trey Lance and they showed why they had the Brock Purdy. There's several kickers out here that I know that won't give you those confidence issues, because confidence issues are something you can't teach, man. It's reps. It's Moody just got to keep kicking. And if the Niners offense, which we're going to talk about in a second, and I apologize if I took too much time. If the Niners offense is going to struggle and you get into the red zone and you struggle in the red zone, I mean, the Niners, look, they started good. 14-play drive, 95-yard drive, even with a couple of penalties in there. I mean, they started off the drive from the 5-yard line and was able to drive that to a touchdown. I understand the context behind it. Trust me, I watch the games. I even have books of notes. Like I do my job. If you want to call this a job, I do what I do. This is not me just overreacting. But the Jake Moody situation, if I can't count on my kicker, then what the hell do I do? Like, that means you got to keep going for it on 4th downs. That one time, Kyle's like, I'm not bringing the kicker out. And then then he had no choice on that 3rd field goal attempt to bring him out. Let's talk about the special teams. Let's just wrap special teams up so I can get into offense. Special teams was terrible. I'm trying to figure out Brant Boyer and what he's supposed to do, but why, if Matt Hennessy struggled in the preseason game on special teams, why he out there in a real game? Because again, the play that Dominic Pooney got hurt in the preseason game was because of Matt Hennessy. And what happened in this game? Oh, I know. Matt Hennessy gets whatever and blocks the field goal. Like, that is unacceptable, Faithful. That is unacceptable, Faithful. I can't wait to break down the offensive line and the groupings once I get the data and watch the film. But from what I saw, special teams was terrible all around. Kicking, Return game was all right. Sky Moore almost had a breakthrough where if he could have made one more guy miss, he would have probably had to took it to the house. That's what you get from Sky Moore. You're not going to see him offensively yet, but God, we're probably going to see him offensively soon. And I'm going to tell you why. But the special teams got to be better. And it was week 1, and I'm not going to super overreact because it's week 1, and I get it. This is hostile. They were on the road. But when we head to New Orleans, it's not a cakewalk. They were putting up a fight against the Arizona Cardinals, guys. It's not going to be a cakewalk. Those guys are relatively healthy, and those guys are getting reps and snaps, and they're going to be at home. Now, we should win, but if we keep playing this type of football, this brass of football, man, we're going to make these games a little bit more tough than what it is. I'm going to save the defense for last. Let's get to the offense. Man, the offense suffered 2 critical injuries, 2.5. Let's go with 2 and a possible. Okay. Now, I don't know how healthy Christian McCaffrey was, but God dog it, Christian McCaffrey, my player of the game. That dude was utilized in every way. Every way. Every way. The 49ers as an offense as a whole, man, they did their thing. They ran the ball well. They threw the ball well. But there were key critical points, man. Losing George Kittle early. That George Kittle on that first 14-yard, not first, but the 14-yard play drive for 95 yards was critical. He got the touchdown. That was crucial. And then when he got injured, it was like, dang, the Niners around the goal line won't be as creative. They won't be as effective. It really changed the game. And I know a lot of us are like, well, why you can't use a different player? Why could you put a different player in it? Yo, the way Kyle Shanahan offense works is it's catered to the specific players that make up the offense. And it's so crazy because it's like, dang, oh, it's just George Kittle. Somebody else can step up. Yeah, they can step up, but they won't step up like George Kittle. So running the outside zone and on the goal line in the red zone, it's not going to be as effective. George Kittle left the game with a hamstring injury, did not return. Juwan Jennings, I believe, left the game with a shoulder injury, couldn't lift his shoulder. He did not return. He wasn't really a factor in the game today. Like Juwan Jennings wasn't a big factor. Statistically wise, he had 5 targets, 2 catches for 16 yards. So not a big day for Juwan Jennings, but he's getting reacclimated to football. Like we know that. But offensively, the Niners have to find a way to produce. And this is not me saying, oh, they got to run the ball. Oh, they got to run the ball. You know, they were running against 9-man fronts. They had a 10-man front. I'm like, yo, there's a 10-man front. Why run it? Like, just find somebody. There's one guy going to be covering and throw the ball. That's why I said Brock has to do a better job at certain things. But when it comes to those protections up front, it's not Brock's job, to slide the protections and things like that. Man, Jake Brendel got to be the worst center in the NFL, man. I don't know if he understands football or understands what his assignments are and roles and sliding the protections. Yeah, Brock's responsible for certain things, but Brendel, you're standing right there and you can see, and you're supposed to know kind of like what the defense is giving or telling, and then you can kind of at least get the offensive line and saying Jake Brendel is responsible for the offensive line. Brock Purdy is responsible for the protections of the other players. There was a play where Christian McCaffrey, 2 plays Christian McCaffrey on Christian McCaffrey, right? 2 plays. And we'll talk about Brock Purdy's interception. So 2 plays to Christian McCaffrey. The first play, Christian McCaffrey got faked the handoff. He blocked. He hit the block. He missed the block because he didn't. The play, the protection of his assignment wasn't clear to what he was supposed to do. He's supposed to fake the handoff and blah, 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 blah. And then when he realized he was supposed to be the guy like blocked for Brock Purdy to prevent the pressure, he dove at him and it was just out of sync, whatever. That was the first play. The second play was the interception where Brock threw the ball down the football field, and I believe Christian McCaffrey did get the block, but didn't get up from the block. And so over the middle of the football field was Ernest Jones IV, and Brock throws the ball. Now, Brock cannot throw those passes, man. But to Brock's defense, his check down was checked down. Like Christian McCaffrey was on the ground. And so where was Brock supposed to go? This is where I need Brock to look at the lanes, step up in the pocket, and take off and get the 5 or 6 yards. The linebackers all the way down the field. How do I know? Oh, because he intercepted the pass, Brock. Brock could have stepped up in the pocket and just ran for the space of the yarding. That's where I need to see Brock get better. Do I like Brock throwing the ball? Absolutely. But when your check down is not available, clearly something happened, and boom, you get the first interception. The second interception was just on Brock Purdy. Like you can't throw the ball into triple coverage. It was double coverage to start off with. And I love Ricky Pearsall more than the other person, but he's not even Juwan Jennings as far as a contested catch wide receiver. He must have thought Ricky Pearsall. He must have thought that kid was either Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, or give me another wide receiver. Julio Jones? No, that's Slick Rick, baby. Totally different type of wide receiver. Those guys contested catch wide receivers. He's not a contested catch, meaning that he's not going to be that 50-50 ball guy. That was a bad play, bad read, terrible throw. And you could blame some. I listen. The play right before that, and the part that pissed me off about that was you had the penalty, the holding call on Trent Williams, and then the interception. Like, damn, can we at least check it down, get half of the 10 yards back first? It was crazy. Jack's in the building. What's going on, Jax? I see you out there. I'm looking dead at the camera. My bad. Peachy says, love the way the tight end position was utilized once Kittle went out. I mean, it was all right, but they didn't use the tight end position much. Just on that last play. I will say the last play on the offensive side of the football, Brock Purdy scrambled and made the throw of his life. Do they still do highlights on Sports Center? Is that still a thing, or am I telling my age? Because that's a Sports Center highlight. And the throw was highlight, and the catch by Jake Tonjes was highlighted. Like, it was more of a highlight. Because I don't know how he caught that pass. First of all, I don't even know how he got open. And then second of all, I don't know how he caught the pass and got in bounds with it for the touchdown. That was the go-ahead touchdown. When I say that Brock Purdy has ice water in his veins, that's the play right there that proves it. Now we just need Brock to figure out how to play a little bit more wise. But at the end of the day, he lost two key elements. We know how Brock's going to play when his number one tight end is not in the game and his receiver that he counts on to make those off-schedule plays is not playing. We know sometimes what the result is going to be. Today, Brock proved everybody wrong. Brock, against adversity, came out on top. For that, Brock gets the round of applause. So look, I'm not here to place blame. I'm just here to talk about what we all saw as as a faithful fan base, community, family. I don't like using the word fan base. We're a family. And we saw some good, we saw some bad. Let's talk about the defense. Because the defense, in my opinion, if you guys are watching a live show, so what would you grade the defense on today? Overall, from beginning to the end, what would you give the defense grade? For me, solid B. I want to give them an A, but it's a solid B. I saw too many burnt coverages, not busted coverages. I saw players get burnt. I saw it a few times. A few bonehead penalties defensively. Whatever. So Peachy says a C. Hot Mike user gave him an A-. Your stepdad 23 with a B+. I like it. I like the range of the grading. I totally love the range of the grading. I mean, if you even went lower, that's fine. If you went higher, that's fine. It's all good. It's just your perception. But the reason why I gave them a B is because they still struggled against the run. And I know statistically, I understand statistically that the San Francisco 49ers defense did this. First, one of the things that they did very well is they only gave up 13 points. I want to put that out there. So 13 points, that's crazy. On the road, they only give up 13 points. So right now, the Niners on defense is only giving up on average 13 points. Now, they won't be number one scoring defense in the league because we didn't play Miami this week. But They only gave up 13 points. Offensively, the Niners on the ground. Defensively, the Niners on the ground, they gave up, let's see how many rushing yards. Passing yards, they gave up 143 passing yards. The Niners defense held the Seattle Seahawks to under 100 yards. It was just the small little gashes and explosive plays that made you be like, come on, defense. And for me, it was the ones on the ground. I knew Sam Darnold was going to find some holes in the zone and was going to take advantage of some of the holes in the zone. Like, I knew that. Jackson Smith and Jigba was definitely on point. Now, there's a report out there that says that the San Francisco 49ers are still trying to get former 49er, free agent now, wide receiver Kendrick Bourne with the injury to Juwan Jennings, which is a shoulder injury. Now I think everybody wants Kendrick Bourne here, right? I see some more C's in there. I see a B+ in there. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you want the Niners to go out and get Kendrick Bourne? We still got 2 more games without DeMarcus Robinson. Brandon Ayuk won't be back until probably around week 7, 8, 9. So if Juwan Jennings is dinged up, the wide receivers that trotted out there on that football field, just they not it. MVS, non-factor. You know what? Let me just figure out which receivers even played in this game. Let's go. All right. So Ricky Pearsall, definitely. You guys know about him. And Juwan Jennings. Other receivers played, but as far as the ones that were targeted, them the only 2 wide receivers that got targets in this game. It was a mess. It was a mess offensively. Defensively, though, I gave him a B. Not a lot of sacks. I don't even know if we had any sacks now that I think about it. But unless that last play was counted as a sack, if I'm not mistaken. So that last play, man, that Nick Bosa, that play was official, okay? That play was official. I'm looking at the sacks. Yep, we had 1 sack in this game. And that was the yards, the lost on that play. Strip fumble, way to seal the deal. How ironic is it that the 2 highest paid 49er players, when the game mattered the most, made the play? Brock Purdy, $56 million man, made the touchdown throw to give his team the lead. And then Nick Bosa, however much money he make per year now, he got the strip fumble. I think that's just so cool. You know what I mean? I think that's so freaking cool. And we need more from those guys. Those guys are captains. Those guys are the leaders. But just to sum up everything, guys, this was week 1, and they got it done in a hostile environment, in a division battle. I don't know we did score predictions and all that type of crazy stuff, and I don't know who scored prediction. I said that the Niners would win by 4. My score was higher. It was 24-20. Did the Niners win by 4? Yeah, they did. 17-13. The Niners had won by 4 points. I feel like everything that I thought was going to happen happened. The Jake Moody miss, Jake Moody make. It was just going to be weird. I didn't have the block kick, though. That wasn't in my thing. Niners on 3rd down, they were 50% on 3rd down. So that's not bad, man. 50%. They started off hot on 3rd down. They were like 3 for 3 the first drive, and then after that, it changed up a little bit. They pressured the San Francisco 49ers umpteen amount of times. The number had to be almost damn near 30 times, where on dropbacks, true dropbacks, they were pressuring our quarterback, Brock Purdy. The Niners in the red zone, I like this. So in the red zone, no, I don't like this. The Niners in the red zone were 2 for 5, and that's 40%. So that's not good. They got to the red zone too many times, and they couldn't find ways to cash in on those touchdowns. So red zone offense, still a problem, still a question mark. It's going to be, let's hope this hamstring injury to George Kittle isn't as severe as it seemed. He got hurt after the first drive and then was in street close. It must have been pretty bad. Okay, so hammies are funny to play with. You don't play around with the hamstring because you don't want to tear it off the bone. So hamstrings are a little difficult to deal with. The Niners were 2 for 2 on 4th down. So offensively, if you want to give them some credit, when they went for it on 4th down, 100%. Defensively, the Niners were 3 for 10 on 3rd down. So the defense was getting them off the field, forcing 3 and outs. All right. And then they were 1 for 3 in the red zone. the Niners are going to adjust and they're going to be fine. Now, make sure you guys are following me right here on Bleacher Report. I'm pretty much going live after every game this season. So that will be the live shows. But if you follow me, you can get my daily shows every day. Tomorrow, I'll be doing the good, the bad, the ugly for the San Francisco 49ers and posting that up there for you guys to check out. We'll talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. We kind of touched on some of it tonight. I'm going to go rewatch this game until I get the film. And then on my Patreon, I'll be breaking down the film. Not a lot of explosive plays on the ground. But the one thing I did love about the Niners, though, they did stick to the run game. And that was something that we needed to see. They continued to run. They ran the ball, even if they were only getting 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. There was only one explosive run. One run over 10 yards. Christian McCaffrey, 14-yard run, and that was like in the fourth quarter. Like, you can't make this stuff up. The Seattle Seahawks run defense was stingy. And I told everybody that they got better. I don't know why people think teams are just going to be trash. No, they weren't. But they weren't good enough to beat the 49ers. The Niners got the win, y'all. Let's go ahead and celebrate. Let's be happy and enjoy the victory. Tomorrow will be Victory Monday, and I'll be recapping the game right here on Bleacher Report. And you guys can check me out on my YouTube channel, the WayneBreezie, where I'll be doing more 49ers content as well. Niners got that dub. It's the only thing that matters. They won this game by any means necessary. Hot mic users, I see a question out there. He says, why does special teams plague the 49ers every year? Great question. Here's my thing, though. My expectations on special teams is very minute because we got a new coordinator. So I'm going to give him some time and some grace. Here's what really teed me off about the special teams. You ready? Kickoff. Jake Moody nails the kickoff. Right? We don't give Jake Moody credit for getting it right. That's fine. We only give him discredit for being trash. He nails the kickoff. But on the play, Jair Brown got a penalty. And I'm just like, man, first of all, Jair, you should be starting. But you just didn't do what you needed to do, and you got beat out by a rookie. It is what it is. So they got to revert you back to special teams, something that I don't remember him really playing on special teams. And then what does he do on the first play of the game? He gets a penalty. And I just like, dang, like, I just feel like the 49ers special teams can't catch a break. Hitman, 49ers need to replace Brendo. They just can't, man. Listen, there are 0 centers available right now. But you're right. You are 100% right. You are right. I'm just telling you why they can't. They're 0. And I'm not putting Drake Nugent out there. And I don't even think I'm putting Matt Hennessy out there. You couldn't even get the assignment right on the field goal unit and gave up the block field goal. He gave up the block field goal. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, did the Rams win today? Does anybody know if the Rams won today? I know the Cardinals won today. Let's see. The Cardinals won 2013 against the Saints and the Rams. I'm looking for the score right now. Bear with me. Why can't I see the Rams? What the heck? It's just the Rams. It's the damn Rams. The Rams won. Oh, they won 14-9. Dang, my picks this week are trash. I thought Houston would get it done. Guess the Houston not good. All right, so the Rams won, the Cardinals won, the Niners won. 3-way tie, first place, NFC West. I'm your host, WayneBreezie. This is 49ers Daily Bleacher Report, man. Make sure you check me out every day, Monday through Thursday. All right, and then the post-game reaction shows right here immediately following the game. I don't waste no time, man. Love y'all. Keep it faithful to the Bay. All right, stay up, man. We won. It's good. It's all good. I know we mad, but we won. Love y'all. Peace. What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.